Okay. Binomial distributions seem to be a little bit confusing, and it's fair enough because it's something that's kind of new, and you've got to be able to interpret the question. So I've got an example here. I've gone through it in class, but I thought I'd go through it here just to make sure you've got it. So if you're not sure about how to do these, this should be a good example. Basically, your binomial distribution has two possible options. We can either have success or failure. Now, that is represented using this equation here. Now, n cx p to the power of x 1 minus p n to the power of n minus x, where n is how many trials there are, how many things, how many possible outcomes. X is our successful outcomes, and p is our probability of success. Sometimes this ncx part is written as this, big brackets n and then x. And basically, you'll be asked to find the probability of x equaling some number, probability of x being greater than or equal to some number, probability of x being less than or equal to some number, and also the other variations of these where it's just greater than or less than. They're the types of things that you're asked to do. Now, depending on what they ask you to do, there's various types of button mashing you can do on CAS. Basically, it's based on this binomial distribution. So if we have so if they're asking us, so this is the probability of x equaling x. Now for this, instead of if we're looking at greater than or equal to, it's not PDF. We end up with binom CDF, and I'll go through one of the examples. So basically what we've got here, we've got this question about a plane. I think it's question 12. Plane has 4 engines and the probability of one engine failing is 0.003. So n is our value 4, and p, our probability of success, is our 0.003. So basically, if we want to find the probability of none of them failing, what we can do, we can say that we've got we can use our binom PDF. Let me just type into CAS. Binom PDF, and this is also PRX equals 0. So that ends up being n, which is 4, comma 0.003, comma 0. And what we end up with there, that'll give us our answer. Now, that will be exactly the same as 0.003 to the power of 4. These two end up being exactly the same. That is because if we use this formula here, we use 4C0, so we're looking for 4 possible outcomes, none of them failing. Multiply that by P, which is 0.003. Actually, no, it's not that. This will end up being this incorrect. Will end up being something else. We'll have a look at what that is in a second. To the power of 0, and then it'll be 1 minus P, 0.997 to the power of 4. So it actually ends up being this. So 4C0 ends up being 1 times anything to the power of 0 is 1 times 0.997 to the power of 4. So this ends up being 0.997 to the power of 4. So that ends up being the probability of none of them failing. The probability of all of them failing, we'd have the same thing. So we'd have PRX equals 4. And from there we do the same thing as binom PDF, n equals 4, p equals 0.003, and our value of x equals 4, because we want to know what the probability of all of them failing is. So now we can substitute that into our equation, just to check it out and see what happens. So we'll have 4C4, then we've got 0.003 to the power of 4, so that's the x value. Just fix that up. multiply that by 0.007, no, 997, to the power of 4 minus 4. So over here, 4C4 is 1 times 0.003 to the power of 4, and we've got times by 0.997 to the power of 0, and we end up with 0.003 to the power of 4 as our answer. So what we're going to do in the next video, we're going to have a look and see what happens if one engine fails. Sorry, if at least one fails.